And the president has the audacity to say, oh, say, you can go and vote NDC. In fact, this is the most unacceptable behavior of a member of a party. Now, or the president, under Article 3, I'm here to say, Lipa, running for president and vice president. He should enjoy his retirement in peace. He has a right to support, but I'm telling you, he should behave like Kufuor. He should behave like, he should be fair. Even if he's doing that, he should do that extremely quietly. Honor, Sentibedi to Sarah to Atan, all these people. Away from them. We have to have a tracker to be able to check a party for our Omo Bojumama party. So that when we come to power, these are the people who should be in government. Competent, loyal, dedicated party people are. They should be in government so that they can look after a party. Disaster here, we shouldn't go and repeat a team that will come and further give us more disaster. And that is why we need big heads, talented, smart individuals to lead this party. Articulate, bold people. Now, if you don't have these kind of people at the top, every single day the party will be manipulated by a group of people. Because the president will always be there and you have a small team. And the small team will undermine you. Nobody in the presidency should be talking directly to the general secretary or national chairman of the party. The president should do that.
NPP amanyuku. Sabi, ya come Musa Superior, Honorable Mr. Superior. When you 2024 elections, meaning say be a assessment kakra. A dear pen the cause of the defeat of the NDC in your view.
2024 election, no. If you look at it, a hard because that election, no, NDC defeat almost defeat a party, no. So we 1992 elections are
Dr. Dubois.
Professor Dubois. Professor Dubois, presidential candidate. And then Alaji Arai Alasan, vice. Then you had people like Darocha, Ajenim Boateng, and the rest are almost leading partner at that time.
General Secretary.
Then General Joseph Ajenim Boateng, one of the most principled people who in Ghanaian politics.
What you said, do baby, or turn it down the support.
Yes, I mean, these are the kind of NPP are going forward, no. That's what we are looking for.
Okay.
Now, my main analyze the reasons are defeat no. So NDC defeat here big time. Now sa defeat no vote share voter form from 2020 votes no so a little over 30% nationally.
Wow.
Now for me no it was terrible. There are a number of reasons why sa defeat no number one is say elected leadership of the party across border. NPP or organizational structure be the base organization for your partner, your polling station executive. It means that polling station be in this country. There were 5 executives, 5 officers of the party are almost representing NPP. It was our polling station. Normally, no. Some of the polling station executives, no, they think, say, they are just there to vote in elections. But Omojuma, more than that, they are elected to run the party, to manage our party
at that base,
at the polling station. So actually, say, any community are our polling station. For our 5 executives, no, the leaders of the party, it was our community, no. So in terms of organization, welfare, issues of strategy, linking up with the polling station coordinator to keep the party healthy. So that election, then the party is healthier to compete. Then one of the things is to vote in constituency elections, any parliamentary elections. But the key thing is to organize, manage the party. So level no. The kind of leadership was our level no leadership no. The same thing if you jump from the polling station back to the constituency level, some of the constituency the performance was bad. Then regional level, it was not okay. The West is the national level. And the reason why the base no any middle no any regional no Nyejuma Papa no is because there's a leadership failure at the top. Now, Mamima example. This is OKFM. OKSFM, Peace FM. Omo under a multimedia group. I friend. What's the name?
Despite Media.
Despite Media. Now, Despite Media, no omo management. There's a big management on top. More organogram.
Yeah, organogram.
There is a management, and I friend whatever name you call it, either executive management or management on top. Omo no supervising the entire Despite Media. Now, Kwame Nkrumah say otiha. Now, Jumano and Kuya, it means that there's lack of supervision. Now, lack of supervision, no. If there is no supervision, there cannot be appraisal.
But any general secretary, you were just in Kobe in Komo, and said 3 or 4 days ago. What was it do, baby? Ube conflict, party chairman, MDC, DC, and one no more parliamentary candidate. Problem now.
It means that there is no discipline, and where there is no discipline, so general secretary or Kasa, it means that or shooting who in the foot, because you are the general secretary of the party. Your constitution, your power, Edima general secretary, no, the presidential candidate doesn't even have that power.
Wow!
I'm telling you, if you look at under the general secretary roles, the constitution has given to the general secretary. No, in fact, only the most powerful officer of the party. The most powerful. Because who watch your constitution now? What is the role of the chairman? Chairman no or say unconvene the meetings of all the institutions of their party. The National Steering Committee, the National Executive Committee, the National Council, and the National Conference. Nobody can convene that meeting apart from the chairman. And then the other responsibility of the chairman in the constitution is on presiding over those meetings. That is what the constitution has said about the general chairman, the national chairman. But the general secretary say, you're like officer of the campaign representing the 4 institutions of the party, the National Steering Committee, the National Executive Committee, the National Council, and the National Conference. Apart from that, you're head of the party headquarters. The head of the party headquarters, no amount for be bring him, and you're the national chairman. The leader at the party headquarters, the general secretary. And the constitution also have an opportunity the liaison between the office of the general secretary and the party and all other institutions of the party across board, whether in the UK, in the US, in the Tamale Central, in Asawasi, in Keta, unaobe liaison officer. So Juma Aoyeno is a big job. Now, so Obe catch them and say, oh, there are problems in the party. Emma, the parliamentary candidate, any chairman, any other people are it means that all lucky the stamina, any the discipline to manage them, and therefore that is failure. So I think the general secretary should not be speaking like that, because or speaking like that, he shoots himself in the foot. In the times of Ajenim Boatin, or a 2-term general secretary of the party, because he started and on or a general secretary, and then he got re-elected again, probably I think in 1990.
He comes from Asante Mampong.
Okay. I mean, Ajenim Boatin now or a very, very, very strong. Now the party leadership they respected him. Now or you're pointful as well. Now Kasaba or Bekano plainly. Damboche was like that. Sir John was very powerful. So you have to have some control to be able to discipline the party, to be able to bring the party together. So Sir Kasano, I don't accept it. But let me move on to discussion Mr. T.
Okay.
So sir, at the party level, now there was some level of inefficiency and laziness, because we are party nipa elect in 2022. Now 2022 I call yes our election. The mandate was for them to deliver in the polls. Now our mandate you have to have a strategy, any program to be able to deliver.
Sure.
Now between 2022 and at the time election, now it appears to me there was no strategy and there was no program. Now we are leadership of a party now only strategy, only program. There's no work plan.
Strategy.
Oh, now the whole country was struggling. It tells you that the whole country was struggling. Yeah, election now almost every region you're declining. Every single region, including our beloved Ashanti region. First no bar form. Should I say either you had no plan and our plan I will put it out, no, it didn't work. So on the basis of that, no, it is so prominent and revealing, say, a hard power. So the national executives, no, were one of the reasons party in Lucia. They didn't supervise the party well, no money plan. And therefore, they have no business to say omba be revive for any election. Because the party people
Obi I can say they are the top there. Down there, no, what's so regional party chairman one you juma, regional constituency chairman one you juma, and executive from one you juma. You are part and parcel of the problem.
Because there's no plan.
Okay.
Now, say plan now, say my example about despite multimedia group.
Sure.
The executive, the lead supervisory body of SAB, managing despite media group. So the munjina weki to plan. Munjina weki to say plan no nyejuma. He said the management had to step down or they have to find a way to revise plan. So that is exactly what is happening. So form the same catchers form no nyana anyade. And the reason is that there was lack of proper supervision and management and leadership from the top. So on the basis of that, no, when we say it has become a difficulty for the party in the 2024 election, you call no.
Now, are you running mates for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia? Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh is on record to have said the tape is there all over. Or say, Omaru Sanda, City FM, say, he was chosen, say, or the Ashanti votes in Beba. No, so be Bebusa Sadi and Biano, Sabi, a useless question.
Oh, he said that.
Yeah. Now, Bawumia or the Northern vote in Bayana.
Are you sure, say, Honorable Matthew Upoku Prempeh said the Ukaya?
No, can we not say a defeat all over the country? And Bebusa said, was it about Bawumia and choosing because he is an Ashanti?
I think Sakasano onjai emboa party.
Why?
Because Uyesano say Una second in command in the last election. So say Bibi like this bar now Ube Kasa, you should reflect over whatever you are going to talk about, because part no yes a reorganization, any rebuilding. Now they all cannot meaning in because we all knew say one of the reasons choosing was to work very hard and mobilize the votes from our brothers in Ashanti. That was the key reason why he was chosen, and therefore I don't agree with it. But let's move on with the management and organization of the party.
Okay.
So me say the national executive the weakest link ombe bois your base no find resources, thinking, any plan, any ideas, any activities, so that a better man mobilize and organize the party at the constituency level. No. Now, between 2022 and at the time election in 2024, no, we say the most dominant party in government in the history of this party was between 2022 and 2024. In fact, I can tell you, now me challenge you, Omo indicate, and I want them to publish, national executive, publish activity plan in the last 2 years for us. Now, activity plan,
they were dormant.
They were dormant. They were nowhere. Publish activity plan. They should indicate in the last 2 years what they did in the northern region, in all the 18 constituencies in the northern region. Indicate what they did in Upper East region, in all the constituencies in the Upper East region within the last 2 years. Indicate tangible program in the Volta region. How many national officers visit Volta region? How many national officers are visit Ashanti region? How many national officers visit Central region? And sa visit no den no omo ye omo visit central region no communities be no omo koye problems be no omo resolve here between that time. That is why we're talking about a work plan. Now running an organization without a work plan now, you would definitely fail. So failure way there a glaring failure a hard dream. So that is the number one reason. The national executive officers didn't do well. Now because of lack of performance, a hard party no pa. Maminka be this party is very weak.
It's weak.
It's weak.
As in what?
Okay, I'll explain. You see, anytime you choose a presidential candidate, then the party gives into the presidential candidate. Anytime party will choose a presidential candidate, then the presidential candidate no overwear or manipulate the party. This time is the same thing. Anytime we are in government, the president finds a way to manipulate the party. Anytime you are government, and the worst of it was even under Nana Addo Addo, or manipulating your party, and every single day.
Now, the
actions, yeah,
okay.
The actions, any actions, undermining the party. So until the party reorganizes and says, no, this party, one single party, managed by the National Council with delegated responsibility to National Executive Committee and Steering Committee. Now, any other individual or institution is under the party. So that yetimi hold the firm principles and make sure, say, party is not moved away from the center to people's homes and people's houses and people's offices are. This is the way the party is going to be. So I say reasset who we are as a party. Look at the mobilization in 1992. Jerry Rawlings governed this country for 11 years. And then he formed a party on the 28th of July 1992. That time the presidential election on the 3rd of November. It means that the party was in existence for just 5 months. Now, with this 5 months, with the kind of leadership I want to distinguish B.J. Darocha, indomitable, courageous, fearless Professor Dubois, Alhaji Malik Yakubu, and people like Ajenim Boateng,
the J.H.
Mensah, and Teresa Tego, Gladys Asma. I mean, these were the people are almost leading the super mobilization. In fact, the most important and biggest NPP mobilization in our history was in 1992.
The Christian Churchill.
The Christian Churchills. The Dino, Araya Lassan, Alhaji Salifu, COP, Alhaji Sakabawa, Wema, and the rest of Odoi Sykes, Jacob Echebi, Lamte Young. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
Yeah.
The young, young, he was pushing for democratization of your country. So that time, mobilization, BW. Because that time there was so much fear. Now
before the movement for change,
exactly. Now Rawlings was putting the fear. In fact, or hijacking our election. So our election was fraught with impersonation, rigging, all manner of things. At the end of the day, ballot box,
opaque. NSS classroom.
Exactly. Now, classroom no say structural organizations free committee for the defense of the revolution, and then the CDOs and co. Now we are very active and very frightful. So intimidating vote. But at the end of the day, the percentage MPP got was a super percentage. 30% of the Ghanaian people said, no, we want democracy. And then later, investigation, which said that election was actually stolen. In fact, that is why the NPP wrote the stolen verdict. This is the kind of injection injecting in our party going forward. Now, before we do that, it is my humble suggestion, sir. our current national executive, I say almost stand down so that we can have an interim management committee.
Oh,
I'm telling you, that is what I'm suggesting. Because almost scorecard is the most terrible scorecard since 1996. So with this scorecard, how do you then say, who per se own supervising a reorganization? Very, very terrible scorecard. In fact, our defeat is the most embarrassing defeat for your party. Now affect a lot of people in their party. So my view is that they should all stand down. En bloc. They should stand down. Obianco. National. Because almost scorecard no terrible. Scorecard no engagement. The National Council should quickly meet and then put together an interim management team to oversee our rebuilding process. No, you cannot use such a cack-handed organization to do the rebuilding. With what ideas again? Election, and we have lost this election so catastrophically. Now, say supervising, and then we have had an apology coming from the party. Yeah, Mati said a couple of days ago there was an apology issued.
From the General Secretary.
Yeah. It is very, very bad. You don't issue apology. You stand down where there is principle. You don't issue an apology, because our apology, apologies to me working in certain aspect of life, but in some other aspect of life, now one of those aspects of life, our apology is the situation we have found ourselves. Because we need to rebuild the party and reclaim government in 2028 and do what we do best for our country. Because I am confident that, look, whatever the NDC will do at the end of the 4 years, you will realize that they can't match us in terms of governance. But because of decisions are yet taken here, and I'm sure we will come to that, decisions are yet taken as a government, coupled with the inefficient performance of the current national executives here, a higher partner power, and then Ghanaians said, look, enough is enough. We can no longer go with this. Now, to abano against you people, so that you will go back and then plan and come back again, because they are more embwa. Now, your party officers are almost around the country. Communications officers, research officers are almost party. Find out. Say, we are one of the leading journalists in this country. After this conversation, we'll conduct some research around the country, and find out whether they were given the resources to work, whether not or more equipments to work.
No.
So
it's emphatically no.
Exactly. This party had no plan.
Because I say I have no resources.
It is everywhere. Now you don't rush in with resources. Time election. The BMK presidential candidates don't win elections. The BMK. No, presidential candidates don't win election. The most intelligent, the most powerful, the most resourceful presidential candidate on to me winning election on the back of a weak party.
Wow.
It is the party they come organize it party and make the party strong and make it acceptable and make it appropriate and motivate the people. So party come together, then the presidential candidate can lead. If you choose the most intelligent presidential candidate and he's leading a weak party, he ain't me winning election. And that has been the case with the NPP in the 2024 election. We say party across board. Now problems, war, party, leadership problems, resources problems, lack of training, technical officers of their party, they were left to one for
Honorable Mami Musa, the candidature of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, one of the reasons in this okay free north, and now Mahama free north. Beginning now, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Abekan say, you guys will use him and dump him. A basse, Mudini Bejina as presidential candidate. You go and pick somebody elsewhere. Until you not begin, the crop of it is said. You benya vote to Mubenya vote to from the 5 northern regions. I feel the Zongo Sunoso ever to the first time. Kremuni so eba begina. Sadi ni na anya dwuma. Why?
mami make a correction of this assumption here because assumption boy who say Ghana everywhere in the Ghana in all the 16 regions across border no numbers no baffle.
Sure.
Everywhere.
In
fact, it is only in the northeast region where Dr. Baumia comes from. Say the numbers went up. So if you check the records, it will tell you.
Okay.
Now, if the numbers were up in the other regions, and then they were down in the north and the Zongo communities. If the numbers were up in Ashanti, in Brono Ahafo, in Easting, in Volta, in Oti, and then in the northern part of the country, the numbers were down. Then you can make a logic argument. In fact, a rational argument say, your own people, the whole country didn't vote for the NPP. And they didn't vote for the NPP for two reasons. One of the reasons here discussing the lack of, smart performance by party leadership. And they affected party. They had no motivation, no need resources. The party was struggling across board between 20. How can you be a political party? I suppose any bridge. A political party must be a bridge between the party people and the government machinery, so that your party for no, they compete my climate bridge, and access support from government. But this bridge broke down. It was totally broken down. So there was a yawning gap between the government machinery and your party people. And therefore, a lot of your party grassroots people suffered unduly. How do you have constituency? There was 17 officers in every constituency. So mathematically, do this mathematics for me. So you multiply 17 by 275, you will get a particular number. And this number, what is the number? 4,675. Now, are you telling me, say, and this 4,675, some of them actually work, some of them are in business. So let's say 50% of the 4,675 or more juma. The rest of the 50%. How is it that they didn't have jobs? On the basis of what? Who can argue, say, why the rest of our constituency executives are more qualifications to work and those are more need qualifications? No. Why is it their partner?
Maybe the jobs were not there.
There are jobs. You cannot say that. Look, in Africa here and in some parts of the world, even in the US, you saw the way Trump or any appointment. A patronage politics.
Sure.
Buami namin buao. And we have just seen the kind of appointment.
And that is why
we have
President Mahama is doing.
We have just seen the kind of appointment President Mahama is doing. So if you say almost need the right qualification to fit in certain jobs, then you can make a case for that. But say almost qualified, and I tell you, majority of our constituency officers are almost nijuma. Some of them are degree holders, some of them are masters. And I'm saying that say almost let's assume say kra almost nijuma. What is the plan? Say party plan then work so that plan can be used to ensure say almost who are benefiting economically because their business are on and therefore that is why the party should have a business development unit. Now, our business development unit, to work in tandem with a research office, so that you our research, and see the kinds of things I bet as a political party to make sure that your party for they are economically viable. Because on an advantage, say party for they are economically viable, but they be or more personally invest into the party without even waiting for resources from Accra. Because you're organizer now Juma and you got the job through the party. Say party no be bibia maybe funeral outdoor na sika from headquarters we better make a contribution so that our social event party can be represented. These are the kind of things I echo. So bridge the only way to mend the bridge is for those who have destroyed the bridge to go so that we can get new set of workforce on Betma Mendy bridge.
Now, honorable questions me Bakon say national officers and for because of an abdication of responsibility. What about one region As we are ha woman yedwuma omo constituency obi anko anase omo de omo nka ho.
That no, if say you proper leadership, supervision no be change. There will be proper appraisal in the system, and there will be a work plan. Because now Uti region who are now constituents, are now polling station, who now the leadership of the party on top no there's no work plan for you. It doesn't motivate you to work. But I'm saying say across board no, most of your party officers no. And therefore, say, but yeah, elections are most of them one. In fact, it was not about the entire fact that say party new at the national level no there. Most of your party officers now at the top now. So say a very brave, competent, intelligent, smart people from across the organizational structure of their party, polling station, electoral area, constituency, regional, and national.
Now, obi say me hu obi atra ba say enye ba omia na ebibie even Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh can say issues so e ma mudi kuguo no such defeat no one is on the economy wasn't performing well come de nkrofo no ne ade two is about governance and they believe say hey now say Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh o kasa ade a na say it's a referendum on Anado's
now say a discussion about ho because two leg I'm giving two reasons why.
Okay.
Here Lucy here. So the first reason discussing about the party, and I'm saying say no, the party leadership no, they perform so poorly, and they be judge omu performance na benchmarking the performance of other leadership no. In fact, the blame leadership criticizes so heavily no. Omu 138 seats, and then we need presidential by 53%. In fact, over 53%. Yes, the blame leadership of the NPP, no, and that time the John Bono is general secretary. But on say criticize you more because on say at the time omo buy no now your seats no was over 160. I think probably 163. Is that correct? Yeah, 163.
Yeah.
169.
169.
And then Omoba no ye lose 6 no, and then decrease your number no from 169 to 137. And then presidential election no, we just won by 3 percentage points. I think John Mahama had 48 or 47, 4 percentage points, I think. But we went around the country and say no, this is not the kind of leadership we are looking for. The kind of leadership we are looking for should rather increase your numbers in parliament and make sure that we have a massive record in the presidential elections. And then you a campaign, and at the end of the day, John Buidu and the rest of them are lose or more positions. As a result of that, no, the current executive no buy. And then, lo and behold, 2024, 137 seats to 89 seats. Is that correct?
Yes.
88 seats.
The fall is so steep.
I mean, the white man will say it is an obliteration, complete annihilation. On finish here, we are not existing. In fact, in parliament, it will be a formality for our members to just go there and sit down because there's a constitutional implications. If you don't go to a parliament for a number of days, you will have problems. So and NDC recruiting the 4 independent candidates to caucus with them. So members are NDC one. They can do anything they want in this country. Now the NPP should never ever be in this situation before, like that, because set pieces of Ghana's democratic journey. So a problem, and that is why, for example, there shouldn't be any conversation at any level to want to encourage this current executive to stay in power for the next 2028 election. It will be a
but some 10 announced 2026.
No, you see, my I say take it drastic. Look, desperate situations require drastic measures. That is why I made me a direct appeal to the National Council to request for them say almost stand it down. Now I'm forming the interim management committee to do the rebuilding. Who say almost setting up a committee?
A committee. I want to say, why don't we wait na committee ni mfa wo a report ni ma that fact finding
committee no a cover up.
Oh sir,
it's a massive cover up.
Why?
Probably led by Dana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. This committee is a massive cover up.
That's number one. What did he hear you
Who there? Sir, or your Ghanaian citizen, a member of this party.
Oh, sure.
Now he should be interested in the way this party will come back after this catastrophe. Sir, committee, no. Almost find how. Yeah, the MI Lucy and yes, I know. Now, Obia nim why we lost. There's nobody in there. In fact, the general secretary of their party is on record to have said that one of the reasons I hear Lucy is because we're not fair to our party people. Now, or see, we are not fair to our party people. Who was not fair to the party people?
Okay.
The party and the government. Or say we didn't treat our party people well. So, or to me, communicated 2 reasons why we are lost. But there are other reasons, and I have just been communicating a number of them here. The chairman of the committee, in his own constituency, he should be telling us why we lost in his own constituency. Domi Kwabinya constituency. Yeah, Lucy here. And it's a miserable loss. Because a key constituency for the NPP. That's number one. Number two, I mean, 80 years. I'm sure 81 years. Now, the SETI committee, there was 16 regions, 275 constituencies, and there are younger people in this party, you know, people like Joe Gatti, John Bwedu, and the rest of the very, very young people in this party are on the institution of their party. Now, the SETI committee to really investigate why we have lost the election, and we think that an older person probably fraught with unhealthy situations are only the
but the national organizer no menene di nkomo ha na na bi abeka say the fact say wanyini no enkyere say sabi na dwene enweke say you were fine old gentleman.
It's not an accurate statement.
Oh,
na so no benanti the whole country no onko.
Maybe baby how obeko bi onko betina no.
No, we need a young person who can go everywhere. Now, who are chairman of a committee, or call Garu Tumpani to sit, and you are in Accra. Now, the Omuko Sefi also, you are in Accra. And then, amazingly, my issue email addresses for how many party people in this country are on more email. How many party people are more email? Let's be serious about this. This is a massive cover-up because they don't want people to talk about it or more hardly put a committee together. And I tell you, watch. The outcome of the committee report, no, ube frame I catch them and say, Musa, the kind of a massive cover up. We lost because we had a very poor, lazy party executives, and then we will talk about the other one, the governance issues. No. So, now in this party, and when you speak the truth, and then they will send their boys to come after you. Now, me, I'm not sure I'm the type of person I will get demotivated to participate in the party's activities because people are talking of bad of me. The culture of silence. Now, we are the liberal Democrats. A BB opportunity should be given for party people to make a contribution publicly and do an open surgery. Now, people want to cow people into silence. It is not the reason why people like Darocha and Co. Okay, I mean, Odoi Sykes, people like Peter Alajeti, Mariama Sampaga. This is not the reason why they almost put you neck to the knife and got this party formed.
I'm a Buzia.
I'm a Buzia and Co. I mean, count them all over the country.
Davia Mamu.
The unsung heroes of their party. Now, so it's our party there. Now, anybody are all person on making this party say silent over issues won't succeed because the principles and the values of this party is underpinned by our democratic principles, by our liberalism, by our openness and transparency. So, even if the committee is a real committee, says somebody should be ringing a member of the committee and say, can you listen to okay right now? Musa Superior is there doing an analysis of why we lost. So that when you cannot have a party say people don't want to be criticized. and then you claim, say, we are democratic party. You are not democratic if you won't tolerate criticisms. Now, all the criticisms I have heard, no, now are positive. Now, all the criticisms I have heard positive.
You run another Kwaku the performance as president of the republic affected the party's chances, Anna.
Yeah, it does. It does because say bad government no. Now you're running the government. Then at one particular stage, things were tough. Like you said, no, now economy and the finances of the country became a problem. Now we borrow more. So borrow, and then it came to over 700 and something, $1 billion. Okay, and we are told there was even a conflict of interest. The organization that was leading this borrowing thing and standing as a consultancy, it was Kenoforia Test Bank. And I think that was absolutely not acceptable. So because he was there, no, borrow more.
Oh, but I can say day-to-day running of this company, no, when you're involved.
No, Master, we all know that. I mean, these are all cover-up talks. It is your company, whether you were not involved or not. It is your company. Then over 90 MPs, members of parliament, almost say they wanted to have a conversation with the president. And there are almost problems in the economy and koye. No constituents, no koye juma, no constituency people no to abama no. The president didn't want to meet them. According to one of them, are all making public statement and meeting. Then they decided there's a press conference. So I think it was after the press conference that they were invited. Now, how can a president sit down happily to say 90 MPs were wrong? Now he and Ken Oforiatta is right. And for me, it doesn't show he was flexible on that occasion. So or Kachira mu say na the finance minister or leading the IMF program. Now it is in the middle way at a particular time through the program that the president feels that they are all required to change the finance minister or be changing. That didn't happen. Then these people gave up. Then later, some mini reshuffle, and then he reshuffled him. And even gave him a job in the presidency. And I think that was an insult to the Ghanaian people and the NPP people. Because this is the same person who will be say, economy no ankoye, and then you do this. So he was then advising the president in terms of the capital market, and he became a special advisor to the president on finance. And that was not accepted. So he didn't listen to them. That's number one. Number two, the whole Ghana, including a lot of NPP people, say, hey, reshuffle this government, here fresh ideas, we need fresh faces, reshuffle. Now the mandate, some mandate as president, it was given to you by the Ghanaian people. And therefore, it's sometimes very, very important to listen to the people and do what the people want, even if they are wrong. So that you will show respect what the mom. Then you can begin to correct the wrong. But on this occasion, they were right. Say things were not going, reshuffle. And the man will say, the kind of statement or make here, for me, he shouldn't have made those statements as a president.
They suffered for going on that tangent. They suffered for going on that tangent. Those 90 MPs,
yes, but it doesn't. We shouldn't be running a democracy like that. Now, on the watch of Akufo-Addo, these things will happen. Serious indictment on his leadership. So as for that one, I'll leave that. I mean, he should handle that problem because we say we're a democratic person and people air their views. It is important you respect their views and then you allow the process to go. So that's number one. Number two, how is it that the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia, Obaha, in one of your studios, Peace FM, Bisano about e-levy. And this man was categorical, the number 2 person in this country. Or say, no, e-levy there, it's not something this government is thinking. And then he even gave a reason why this government will aim for e-levy. Or say, e-levy no ebe ha poor people. Then, a couple of weeks' time, there was an e-levy. actually say this was an unstable government, and it was actually a disgrace on the vice president. And the reasons why I'm pushing for e-levy, because the vice president had advised cabinet that the e-levy, and this one I'm telling you, I'm from a very reliable source, he had told cabinet that this e-levy is not good for this country. A number of people, in fact, I think that Nana B had made a public statement about it. The national organizer of the party said the e-levy is not good, but they brought the e-levy. So, our policy, you can't say, yeah, and then later we brought it. The judgment of the government was poor, and this was bad. You about the respect for traditional authorities. Our President of the Republic of Ghana, our Uninam, you are traveling around the country for social events, and then you instruct chief say, almost sorry, na chiao. Na,
any effect on the electoral outcome?
Of course, because me, I'm a traditional Dagomba person. If you come to my community as a president and ask my chief to wake up, if I am not a true proper NPP person, I will vote against you because you have disrespected my chief. It doesn't work like that. No, he was doing all these things. His body language at public events. Look at, I think there was a national program, Omobo national anthem. A particular chief was seated. And Addo could have calmly told the regional minister quietly, can you go and talk to the chief not to do that? But who said?
By force, sorry.
National anthem there, you have to respect it.
But
it doesn't
can
matter.
He do that
and yes, if Otunfo wants to respect it and stand up, it must stand up. But to say the way are all But in another event, the daughter was handling a phone all over the place. Did he tell her to stop?
It is that
is the problem. So all these things affect the
because when the entire make us me free baby am free no per our tradition no say otum for bar that privilege to sit. You have that privilege to sit whilst others are standing up. So no a cultural some history bisa. Me question is say ebi anana no kura wote wono ne na ye ne ya. Enti wonim se about national anthem.
Say later the officer issue statement actually say now on Tiapo.
And
they made that statement. But the Americans say exactly. That is my problem. Even if you the president believe Chinchina say national anthem a chief should stand up. So the way to communicate it to the regional minister should have been much more sober, so that it doesn't show say you were angry, because this was a chief. It was not Musa Superior, Kwame Tikase, any other person. This was a big chief in I think in the Greater Accra region. Now the way of showing anger, it didn't show correct temperament, and I think that it affected the party around the country. And the chiefs were having a conversation. So chiefs knew working against us in almost everywhere. Some of the chiefs are almost Nipakura. They were not happy with those things. Conversations like, oh, you didn't vote for me, and therefore that is why me free. So
voter and the Kumfi chiefs.
So these were some of the reasons are, and I'm happy say this conversation back out for us to talk, so that your corrections you better make it. So these are and then how can you say yeah, haircut? People have put their money, old people have put their money, they have entrusted their money for security, for savings, and then the government will come and say, look, Sikano, some of the money will no longer belong to you. We are running a restructuring process because of IMF. On the basis of that, we part of your money, for a haircut. These were voters. Now, more extended families. So they were very upset. We saw the former Chief Justice all leading demonstrations against the government. Now, if you see, people took it lightly. A whole former Chief Justice leading a demonstration. What is he telling the middle class? The middle class party for say, voters, you have the middle class grow older, and these were educated people this country, work for this country, and then their monies were going. So these were the issues, and some issues, it's a very important having conversations about it.
Now, Mimusa, positions, what contest be? Sebastian,
say anybody or can about position as MCC, I will jump gun. About positioning, open public surgery for problems are now and see how partner be panning out. Now, see about positioning, who can about positioning, I will be jumping gun. Now, me my responsibility as a party person to make sure say they are happy, say talking about it so that they find a way to address those problems. So currently, we shouldn't be talking about we person election 2 years from now. Now, why would anybody be thinking of contesting a position now? It is not the best thing. There's a problem in the party now. Let's come together and rebuild the party. That is the most important thing for me. Not in
the interim. In the interim and long term, steps Ben as a party to rebuild trust with the Ghanaian populace.
The most important thing is that we should stop conducting ourselves in a manner demonstrate say we are arrogant people. I say and stop it, and that is why to accept some of the things what the country and like the kind of conversations are and then the other one any genuine reforms in the party. Now me see reforms no omuma obi anto abano omuma NPP who ID who membership card. Now we are good standing nature say utua odiusa anto abano. Now who call ye 5 people polling station, for example, my constituency delegates they are not even up to 1,000 people. So in the last elections primary there were a lot of things that were totally illegal but the party looked on. But if you say now it will be very, very difficult to bribe NPP membership, because most of them they won't be available to be bribed. Now, what time because call round call community you are inviting all the NPP people and talk to them. If you have, for example, polling station or 30 or 40 people registering as NPP members, now we are good standing now. And now we have it across the country. Every polling station, the minimum of people are register and have a membership card. Now sa number no constituency biano ultimate come on television any fridges as a nipa 30 per polling station no, and you have probably over 2,000 polling stations.
You can't do that,
my brother. So I say open up. Now open up no has to be drastic so that ebe prevent these kind of things. The other thing I propose is national council. I say national council. I say I think it should be abolished.
Why?
Yeah, because it has become an institution now which is being manipulated by normally the presidential candidate and the president. So and then we leave them because we say membership are our national executive committee, almost the same membership are our national council. But with national council, additions be say regional representation and some other things. We have 20 members of parliament. 20 members of parliament are almost representing MPs on the national council. Some of these members of parliament, at the time I hear what government, a few of them will be ministers of state. Now, a minister of state going to national council, you think he has the audacity to challenge the president? We have former general secretaries, former national chairmen, and all these things. But you limit at the end na the bureaucracy in the part no and steering committee, national executive committee, national council, national conference. No. We should have steering committee and national executive committee, and most of the decisions, take place in the steering committee. Probably 90% of your decisions, the steering committee should take the decision because there was fair representation. Amount for name the membership of the steering committee. In fact, it is one of the most powerful organs of the party.
Steering committee, no?
The steering committee, who say membership, national chairman, all elected officers of the party, all elected. Chairman, first vice, second vice, organizer, general secretary, youth organizer, Nasara coordinator, women's organizer. And then we were chairman of the council of elders. Then you were the leader of our group in parliament. Then we have the president and the presidential candidate. Now we are members of the steering committee. So they have fairly represented the country. So say NDC or functional executive committee no
fake
very very powerful,
very strong.
So most of the decisions that we hear are communicated to the country by the NDC no decisions no are taken by the functional executive committee. So per se reforms no in juma pan there, then let's make sure say sir NEMA decisions are able taken. Most of those decisions should be taken. After all, the steering committee any in charge of the day-to-day management of the party. The other thing is, Parliament almost standing committee is clear about how you choose your leadership in Parliament. It should be chosen by members of the Parliament. You ain't changing your constitution, no, and not allow the National Council to choose leaders for us in Parliament. They should allow the people in Parliament, a group to choose leadership. Because who watch ya? So 20 people are national executive no. Chooses 20 people no.
Okay.
It is a parliamentary group, not the party. So it should be the other way around. Now elections are now going forward. No, my view is that we shouldn't have a campaign team again.
Campaign team?
No, it is totally unnecessary.
Why?
Because campaign team bar.
I'm about drop strategies.
Campaign team bar undermining the hierarchy of the party. So say election time drew maybe 1 year to the election. Yet to me, the national executive, the steering committee into a campaign team so that a dual responsibility. A national executive committee and a campaign team. And then 3-4 people. How is it that the whole party currently we have a director in charge of campaign strategy? In the national campaign, there was no director for campaign strategy. You do your investigation. The director of the campaign strategy for this party, there's a director. So as a the steering committee into a campaign and then find 3-4 people and add the national treasurer of the steering committee, in my view, should be the director of finance. The national chairman, in my view. Now, normally you campaign as your campaign chairman, then you campaign manager, then you chairman of the campaign coordinating committee. This is bureaucracy way in why your campaign management body to be headed by the campaign manager. Period. Your campaign chairman, and then the reporting system, no, are very cumbersome.
There were lapses in oversight.
Exactly. Now, some people were, people claim, say they were. If you go and form a lot of people into one group and make them campaign team, it is very, very likely that some people will not be used. Now, because they are not used, no, they won't be happy. Now,
because na Chairman Fred Owari.
Okay.
No,
you're vice chairman to Dambuchi. No, we are menu. Chairman Fred Owari and Nana Akumia. No, we are 2 vice chairmen to Dambuchi. And then you come down under Dambuchi, no, you will operate as campaign manager. That is why I'm saying, it's needless. You don't need a lot of people to form a campaign team. Once you turn a national steering committee into a campaign team, then the director of operations will definitely be the national organizer. The deputy director of operations will be the youth organizer. the finance director, no, only the treasurer of the party. Why is it that the whole treasurer of a party seti campaign tina and somebody is ahead of him in terms of finance? Yes, we can find 3-4 people and co-opt them in so that on be part of the national steering committee to form the campaign team, and we should have one leader of the campaign team, and yet not several leaders. Now, one national campaign chairman, and then you have a national campaign manager, and then you have a national chairman of the national coordinating committee. Then it means that there are 3 leaders in a campaign. Now, it makes management become very, very difficult. So my proposal to the party, which I'll be doing very soon formally, is in the future, no, 10-year steering committee, no, into the campaign. The chairman of the Council of Elders is there. He can be a chief advisor to the campaign. In our case, it is currently Hackman Oswajiman, and everybody knows this is a very experienced man in politics.
Sure.
Now, if you make him the chief advisor to the campaign, Ebejuma, the national chairman, I heard the general secretary make a very valid point, say the national chairman should be the chairman of the campaign. In fact, he should not the chairman, he should be the manager of our campaign, so that the general secretary another position in the campaign, so that steering committee then the whole thing will go out there and use the constituency officers, any polling station officers, because if you go out there, because the last campaign, there was something they call sharpshooting, any Go TV. Most of these sharpshooters and Go TV people, now they were not officers of the party at the ground. These were different groups are all more campaign. Now, let's use the party structures at the constituency level. The constituency executive, a year to the election, should be inaugurated as the constituency campaign team. There be 3-4 people in addition. At the regional level, the regional executive should be inaugurated as the regional campaign team, with the addition of 3 or 4 people are almost certain expertise they lack at that level. Then I think that will help the party. There will be cohesion in the party, so the party will be mobilized.
Run up to elections, Now, Niamania will team party for us.
Oh, say party way there. Look, for example, in 2022, we make a public statement. Now, verifiable. So, see, I will call internet so I'll be home. Now, me say, youth in afforestation, NAPCO, school feeding, national service, teacher trainee, nurses trainee. I made this statement probably around July 2022. I think so, July 2023 or so. And I said, government in Tuomo. Because a government in Tuomo, I said it. Then later, probably around August, me make another statement. And this time, I was directing our statement to the yet to be elected presidential candidate of the party. And these are public statements. Say, if the presidential candidate is elected, you should insist that these payments are made. I made that statement. And I said, party should find a way and empower the party people. So those of you, Bisa say, dear Nami, when I was deputy chief executive of the Forestry Commission, these are the some of things I've said publicly, which political appointee, government appointee has publicly issued such a statement. How is it that the election, 3 months to elections, in October, then the Public Utility Regulatory Commission are increasing tariffs, water bill, any light bill, 3 months to election.
2 days to election.
No, me make a public statement. And I said, this is verifiable. And I was a member of the government then. I wasn't talking as a non-officer of government. Let me be a member of government. Almost say reshuffle. The cousin of the president. A lot of people say now you're very, very powerful in the government. Gabi Osarochrigga. But making statement be ridiculing Ghanaians. And I'm sure you read the statement say, it's as if you're reshuffle, Ukraine won't be stopping. as if you're reshuffling our dollar.
Maybe he said it in jest.
No, but I'm saying he said this was not a statement that was supposed to be made by somebody close to the president. It was an unfair statement on now who taking the Ghanaians for granted. Let me make a public statement against him. In fact, a lot of people call me and say, oh, now if you are not careful, you will lose your job. I told them that, look, if I lose my job to correct all these problems so that yet me we need 2024, I'm happy. Because sometimes it's not about the job, it's about the security of the individual. Now, the security of the NPP member, the security of the Ghanaian, no, it's in the hands of the NPP. So, yeah, losing government, so these are the things, 2 days to elections, a day to election, who increase fuel prices. What kind of awkwardness is this? Now, who call your elections? I count 1 day to election, and then you tell the whole country that you have increased fuel prices. It doesn't work. So these things, it doesn't work. Politics doesn't respect these kinds of policies. Yeah, politics, then we come back quickly and fix all these policy issues. 1 month to election, you do a lot more politics. Even if a policy, you think say a policy no, and the people are calling for the removal of the policy. Why is it that election?
The issue of senior high.
Yeah.
Now you see in Kwalabe 5 million and over. And now what much me enrollee? Say Kwala no kwanya 18 or parents say 2. Senaka, that could be enough for you to win.
Yeah, for senior high there, we have to commend Akufo-Addo for it, or on lapses.
I didn't know to.
That's the problem. It's because the party was weak. Those are all more about mobilizing the people and send the message at your communicators and everybody. The party was so weak. Now, my culture will say you can have the most handsome, brilliant, intelligent, smart presidential candidate. Say, partner you're weaker, you will not do well in the elections. Because the party is the vehicle mobilizing the people and carry them to the polling stations to vote. So a party that is motivated, the membership is motivated to do the work and motivated to come out and vote. These are the things here in the party. So it is very, very, very important that we look at all these things. All these low voter turnout. I'm out for Bibre catch them and say, we lost because your numbers now are out. That's our argument, no. For me, it's not a correct argument. There are 2 reasons why people decide not to give their mandate to the people. One is either the government are all running, it is not run to the satisfaction of the people, or like the party has become weak and it has demotivated our people. So, and there are 2 ways to reject the party. Number 1 is to vote or to abstain. Number 2 is to abstain. So, abstention now, I'm for say, yes, there are people, but then I'm voting. They didn't vote because I'm losing confidence in the party. So this argument that 2 million of NPP people didn't come out to vote shouldn't even be said publicly.
How?
No, because why didn't they come out to vote?
Okay.
They didn't come out.
Then they say it normally voter apathy.
No, voter apathy. They are cause voter apathy. Because General Secretary said they didn't treat the people fairly. Yes, look, now me here assembly on I think on Peace FM. A gentleman who said he was a financier of the party. God is I mean, this
George
story.
Otibunsi.
Kwame Tikase, this story. How can this story encourage such gentleman and his whole extended family to vote for the NPP?
And then I started a party, no,
Now, I'm so sad that the gentleman didn't mention the name of the person. But on my clues, so I
know the person.
On my clues, I know him.
I know him.
Because if he said Abu had never worked at the National Security, Asensu had never worked at the National Security, Fawaz has never worked at the National Security. The only person who worked at the National Security is Von Brazil. So he should have mentioned his name. What is he afraid of? Now, these are the characters that made us lose the election. As a deputy chief of staff, you conduct yourself in this manner.
Now, they don't even talk about it.
I mean, it is amazingly. Sometimes where's be waha? Yeah, you see why a party, no, but and yet, say a deputy chief of staff would do this to a financier of a party. These are all the issues. Emma part no bar form no. And the only way yet me rebuilded this party is to put in place a stronger team. A team obianti me manipulate, whether you are presidential candidate, you are president, nobody should be able to manipulate our party. Because the first appointment is when we appointed you to become presidential candidate. The second appointment, say we near. So our second appointment is through NPP that the Ghanaian people are tomorrow. So I say I only respected this party at all times. How is it that in Bibia now I see yanko number 16, yanko this office now your party office.
Number 16, former electoral commission officer.
Yes, former. We've been running some campaign things there, and if you are looking for money, go to number 16.
You cry time and national officers no a time no a large short no time one.
Yes.
Now a baby run free.
So I say the party no we should be assertive. Now say party no assertive. Now, and we allow individuals in the party to control this party. And the party no who that particular individual no. And I'm sending me caution people who wants to be presidential candidates of our party. It's not going to be business as usual. The next executive of the party, we will put pressure on them.
My main idea was selection of a candidate for the party. No, what thoughts on that? Any saying? Selection of a candidate for the party, no. What thoughts on that? Any say?
Oh, say any the biggest election, the national election I selected a presidential candidate. Any the biggest group are almost selected because polling station executives now almost to aba, national officers to aba, regional officers to aba, constituency officers to aba. But we have to move forward and make it all move. One man, one vote. Obian to aba. Every single NPP member or registered or membership card or to dues. So that time noa onko to aba in his electoral area. Because yes and no, it has become more democratic, any more inclusive, any more liberal. Because the foundations of our party is based on liberal democracy, is based on transparency, and is based on inclusiveness. So ma obia to abanoa a boa party no pan because conversation no e be keen. Because who call Zebila to meet, you are not going to Zebila to meet polling 5 people alone. Say maybe or more 400 polling stations times 5. And then you are going to meet the 400 polling station times 5 and then tell them say to abamao. This is a smaller who watch the number of votes are yenya Zebila, and then watch polling station officers no. You see they're far ahead. So like you are going to meet only 2,000 people and ask them to vote for you. Meanwhile, in Zebila, we got over 10,000 votes. So let's say 10,000, 3,000 are just people are almost sympathizers and supporters. Then the 7,000 are members of their party. So now when you go to Zebila, you are going to meet 7,000 people. Now, some 7,000 people come and see whether you can give all of them 200 Ghana cedis.
Unto me.
So these are things that are vote buying, are very alien to the party. And so the only thing I ever address is our vote buying is to make everybody vote. And I tell you, if you are Elon Musk in Ghana, a very difficult amount to go and pay money to everybody in this country to vote for you. And so say yes or no, so that part no bet my electee the right people to lead. Was
Bawumia the right candidate to lead your party?
In my view, at that time, as elections and throughout the campaign, he was the right candidate. But I told you, no candidate can win an election on the back of a weak party. And that is how Bawumia got affected.
What suggests on some review?
No, we will be jumping the gun.
Okay.
I told you, it's not about this time. Juma, it's not about national officers, any presidential candidate matter. We are rebuilding the party. Mistake. And we don't do the right thing and get the party informed and build the party and reorganize it and get everybody on board. And then at the end of the day, we take this weak party, go and choose a presidential candidate. Better review.
Okay.
So Obianjai the Omoyano name build it. This party is bigger than everybody, including the president and the presidential candidate and everybody. That is our party. Obianjai Bibia name regroup it very well, get the party together and make sure say we build a strong party. Timiko election 2028 and defeat the NDC and reclaim governance.
Going forward, reforms being a ufil say
For reforms no there. I think say my indicative me conversations no number one no, we have to make sure that Emma Obian Twaba from polling station, electoral area, regional, any national na no move so that omuma Obia Twaba no ebema your vote to be inclusive, any wider and democratic. Very, very important. Now, who say your electoral area, hono, you were only one person now, or your electoral area coordinator. Jumano, too huge ama one person to be a coordinator of the electoral area. So, me suggest to say, you institute an electoral area executive, and your 5-member electoral area executive. To be chairman, secretary, organizer, youth organizer, so that electoral area no have 5 no umbe coordinating because their electoral areas are almost polling stations more than 5. Now say one person is doing the coordination no hard doing. So we should look at that. Now the other one will say elections are say all the most of the positions no we are na appointment. Now me no I don't think say right. Yema Obia contested except 2 positions. Now communications officer, any research officer no. Because omono ye here expertise bia so that ye appoint you because of those expertise. No? But we say only deputy youth organizer, deputy there. I say that positions no na omoma Obia uncontested. So these are the reforms, and I said say ye parliament no. Per se parliament no strong na mbua part no the parliament should be independent. Now as soon as the National Council appoints the leadership of the parliament becomes a subservient of the National Council. Now so the National Council penonyana parliament the leadership will have to ensure say parliament accept. Now omu choose omu leadership they will be independent. Now I tell you say we're very independent minded institutions within the NPP now. Every party becomes stronger. Now and then a campaign team now make about the campaign team. There are issues we should be looking at. So reforms these are some of the things in my view going forward and making sure say they are implemented.
And government appointees and also can be in Crawford bufu pa intikwan woman to aban.
No, not me but like I said, if you watch me public utterances a number of occasions my issue statement calling on the government to do the right thing. So I am completely absolved because nkasa at the time your government no. Then that's the time say Ubet man make case say na Musa superior time government no then one kasa. Then of course you can make a case. But on several occasions, I have made points. Say this policy is not good. That policy is not good. Making sure say we do the right thing. Utility, we shouldn't. In fact, the statement I issued on the PURC manner, I called on the government to reverse it. You can just go and Google it. Musa Superior calls out PURC on your Google. You will see the details. So I know, say people are angry, and then lampy and together. Most of the CEOs, any deputy CEOs, they didn't go to campaign. Most of them didn't. One of them is the immediate past CEO of the Forestry Commission. He didn't go to a single place throughout the 20 and I'm wondering, Kwame, I know, I'll let you talk. This man, he doesn't care about the party. Now, I was wondering.
Because it was given to him on a silver platter.
I don't know where he comes from. Because this party. Hold on. In this party, I have never, since 1992, heard John Aloti. Yes, party, and then you got the job through the party, and you disrespect party people. Who say, "Oh, you're deputy there. You are just lalao." Yeah, deputy. What can you do now? Party, Forestry Commission, party for no bar. They come to me
because
exactly. Now, Misu, if I go and talk to this man, he will rubbish me. In fact, at a particular point in time, this man told me he's not here to do politics. And I realize it because throughout the 2024 election of Greater Accra, not a single constituency has only been to. I have been to almost every region. 3 regions are among.
Oh no, I
don't know. I don't know. So these are the issues. If the party is stronger, but you see, look at what the NDC is doing now. And I'm delighted about it. MMDCs, they put it in the hands of the party. Say, interviews and give them the names. This is what the NPP should insist. And if you don't have a strong steering committee, the president will not listen to you. Now, the president should be afraid of the steering committee. So that if the president doesn't listen to you...
But you know, John Aloti, once na rising through the ranks.
Which ranks? Of the NPP?
No, of the Forestry Commission.
I don't know how he got the job as a deputy. No, a deputy at the time of Sir John. No. Maybe Nimno. And then when Sir John died, may he so rest in peace. And I'm making a chief executive. Now this man, even people, Greater Accra region, the chairman secretary, he doesn't even know them. Now, who appoint you or be like this to be CEO of a strategic institution like Forestry Commissioner? Say now, if you look at most of the people are almost free abroad. Look, me call London in 2002. I think November 1st, 2002. 2nd November 2002, me enrollee as an NPP member of the UK branch. 2nd November, I searched for them and I enrolled as a UK branch. And I'm sure my colleagues are almost Ghana, they will attest to that.
Wow.
A lot of people are almost free abroad. And then they have been giving jobs around this country. They've never been members of the branches are almost free. Most of them have never been members. How they got the job, I don't know. Now, we disrespect to our party structures.
Because
nobody knows that. They are there. They are all over the place. And when you come to them, it's very difficult. Oh, minimum, but it is not. It won't be fair. Now, I looked in the because I was there and I saw the kinds of things are all here, and this party has come down. This man, he will not listen to anybody.
Why more party for no?
Yes, one more party for no, or say the chief of staff. He had told people, say, oh no, nobody can do anything to him because his friend is the chief of staff. Now, chief of staff says, yeah, we. Where is the chief of staff now?
President Mahama appoint to be a co.
Yeah, Forestry Commissioner. Of course, because establish board noir. In fact, all of them, because me, my judge, man. In fact, as soon as we lost the election, I went and took my things. In fact, days before the elections, my judge, all these government appointees who are still hanging around the departments, what is it? Whether you like it or not, at the end of the day, on you. So these are the problems, and we need a strong party to interrogate these matters. Because the president cannot just come and lo and behold, without consultation of the steering committee and say that, yeah, appointee ABC. No, we got to let the president know. And I tell you, the next national executive committee of their party, some of us will insist they do the right thing. If the president appoints somebody without consultation, then the party will withdraw the support for the president. The president cannot do anything without the NPP. I'm telling you. And as a party issue statement and say that we should all withdraw our support for the government. Nobody should go and communicate for their party. Where will the government get people to communicate for them? So it should be important. Say, there was strong steering committee. Now, that steering committee and safeguarding party. This party has been abused. Now, sir, abuse our party abuse it's not the best. So if you free abrochria or pejuma, you should route it through the branch of the party wherever you are coming from. Now, sir, part no be recommendation to the party headquarters in Accra. Then they will send your name to the presidency. You cannot say that your friend is Asante Bedie too. Your friend is Gabi.
But I no cross a bedroom baby no. Na nipa be for be pe na what government mo on appointments.
Mati, I've heard it. I've heard that the most powerful people in the government are informal. Mati say Gabi Chidako, Nana Asante Bedie too, Ken Oforiata, and then Nana Dunya friend Bumpty, and then Nana himself. But there is this other lady, one year Mapachino. He has not done any work for this party, never campaigned for this party. But they be our Oti, Jubilee House, or you're very rude to party people. Your friend Usara to attack. These people should not be allowed to conduct themselves in that manner.
And in there.
Now, her job is finished. He was there being rude. I hear he's not very well. And, and I pray for him. But he's a very bad man. No, yeah, terrible person. Say one time I went there. No, say on your politics. So you tell me where you have ever seen Asante Bedie to our campaign, my NPP. With Gabi there, we can credit Gabi. Anybody who says Gabi and Yejuma, what?
Oh yeah, Juma.
Gabi is a strategist, very intelligent man, but he was overdoing it in government. But apart from Gabi, all those people are Asante Bedie to Sarah Tuatan, all these people. Where from them? So the party should keep track. We have to have a tracker to be able to check the party for our Bojumama party, so that when we come to power, these are the people who should be in government. Competent, loyal, dedicated party people they should be in government, so that they can look after your party people. And I'm telling you, Mohammed's announcement, appointments are all demonstrate argument I mean making. We need our party people to be in sensitive positions in government. Sami Jemfi, the national communications director, he's just been given a lucrative job at PMMC. Big job, huge responsibility.
Wow.
Now, yeah, we are out there called Google or more duties, and then you will know that is the way you look after a party, so that they are there. They will concentrate on building their party. They will look after the country. And 2028, if we don't do well, they will win again. And if you go and bring people like Alote, and then there are some names I don't want to mention. And I know the party people know these people. In the 2024 elections, I was all over the country. A few of the executives were all over the country. Majority of them were in Accra here. They didn't do anything. They didn't do anything. Okay. Now, such people, you make them chief executive, you won't find them. In fact, some of them were politicians, deep politicians, but they didn't go anywhere.
Oh,
they didn't go anywhere. One of them told me that, oh, but Musa, this thing, you know, it is clear that we have lost. And I say, I'm not going to mention his name, but I'm sure he knows what I'm talking about. And yet, so the steering committee of the party must take over the party and seize the party and make sure that every single person in the party, including the presidential candidate and his team, has to be in line. How is it that you run a campaign now? There is no regular reportage by the campaign office to the steering committee. How? The steering committee should supervise every committee of the party. There was statutory committee and non-statutory committee. So our statutory committees, we have named them in the constitution.
Mamenyo thoughts on this. Now more director of communication for the party. Yeah. And I'm Musabenya, director of communication for the president's campaign.
It was unnecessary. I have already told you the bigger plan. The bigger plan is that the national steering committee and all those they have appointed on the national steering committee should take over the management of the campaign. The current director of communications of the campaign, he would have been the director of communication of the campaign. And it amazes me that he was subservient. A whole director of communication of a party becomes subservient to a director of communication of a committee of a party. How can that make sense?
Say that again.
No. Me see, how can a whole director of communication of the party become subservient or servy under a director of communication of a committee, because the campaign is a committee of the party?
Yeah.
Every campaign team is a committee of the party approved by the National Council. So every officer of the party at the steering committee level, National Executive Committee level, National Council level is more senior than all members of the national campaign team. They are supposed to report to the party. So the people must be educated, and that is why I may carry constitution of the party around. Now say educating your people now. They will just leave the party for individuals, and then every single day for their own personal interest, they will keep undermining this party. And that should not be on. So me, a time ni drew, reforms, time ni drew, now people are coming out to contest elections. Me make it direct appeal to our party people around the country. Say, they shouldn't take the money. Because at the end of the day, Sikaye, Gino, and they say BBR, take the money and go and vote for wrong people. Vote strong people, and I tell you, very strong people will come out. Voting more, and then look at scorecard in the party. Juma in the party when they're in government. I tell you, Tamami what Tamale in 2020, who watch your results now? The number we got was over 30,000 votes.
Okay.
As mayor. Now, 2024, I'm not mayor. The number has decreased to 16 to 17,000 votes. That is my scorecard. So Obia Obisano, 2020, Tamale Central. Now, my number now it was 29,295. Tamale South, because there were two constituencies in Tamale Metro. Tamale South, 25,544. In 2024, Musa Superior na me knew her as mayor. What is the number in Tamale Central? Number no abba from 29,000 to 20,000. 9,000 votes have gone.
Wow.
In Tamale South, from 25,000 to 18,000. That is the scorecard of Musa Superior. So Ubisa said, dear na my party no. I can't tell you what I did this kind of votes as Tamale mayor. But if you go to Tamale and ask, I was the only politician in this country I ran open surgery. Only the whole Ghana. I ran an open surgery between 5 p.m. and sometimes 10 to 11 p.m. every single day, Monday to Friday.
Wow. Party
people, Ghanaian citizens are on what time they come and see me. Days that man run this program would be either weekends or now me to quite. So this is my scorecard. So steering committee must insist that we get the party people, competent party people, because we are Ghanaian. If you get the how can anybody argue that a political animal such as the chief of staff, your friend was saying, Julius Debra, how can you argue that he can be chief of staff?
You can't.
You cannot make that argument because or you're competent and is also a strong party person.
Yeah. Former regional chairman of Eastern Regional Party.
That is why I say me enumerate way. Yeah, party man. So it's a party for no bar. He will think about them. He will think about them. You can't go and put people, and then when people come, they claim they are busy. Asenti Bedietu, he will tell me, Musa Superior, that you are busy. When I was going around campaigning for the party, where were you? I wish him well. You can't tell me you are busy. You have to listen to me because
last time I know the motorcade they call club.
Media, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I saw him. Yeah.
All I'm saying is that they are almost here and Lucy. So
the issue of croinism. Nana Asafu Mafo, advisor to the president, Neba Snit, here Kase crowd, that's all. Ye benya way, no one so de Nere, akwa na we eno ha party no.
Me when it doesn't worry me if there is evidence that Omoye Jumama party no.
Oh, okay.
Omo qualifications. They are all qualified. But the other qualification that should put them there, no Omo Nibi. Look at this lady. What's the name? Akufo-Addo's daughter. The chief executive of the Ghana Creative. What is her name? Jan Krumah. What is her scorecard? Juma Ben or Yema party. Me see, you can't do that. You cannot do that. Find the people who are work. And that is going to be the challenge for the next presidential candidate and the next president of the NPP. Because we will encourage the steering committee. The steering committee will take charge, not the National Council. So most of the decisions should have to be arrived at the steering committee. After all, the president is there, the presidential candidate is there, chairman of Council of Elders is there, leader of our group in parliament is there, all the elected members are there. What else do you want? How do you have to drag things to the National Council so that you can manipulate the council to take decisions in your favor? Omukoye review committee. They just came and then they announced the names to them. People want to talk, they won't be allowed to talk. And you say you are running a democracy. You cannot run a democracy in a manner you run a democracy. It's unacceptable. So, me encourage the party people, and I tell them that the spirit of Darocha is coming back. The spirit
BJ
Darocha is coming back. The spirit of Papa Osu Ankuma is coming back. The spirit of the Jake Obechebi Lamte is coming back. In fact, the spirit of J. Kufuor is already here with us.
Now, the spirit is here. Some say, Sabra, Wamudi, J.H. Mensa, Assembly Court. Now, one more sentencing. Na BJ Darocha was his lawyer. Party in Nkofon Shedenim. Sabarima John Jekun Kufuor. Over them 1.5 years.
Yeah.
As a political prisoner.
Yeah. Yeah. So we need all the spirit to come back. Because among the real
BJ Darocha neba power
I don't even know this.
Bibia.
Now amount for Bebremi Kasa na almost see I am washing, somebody said I'm washing the dirty linen of the party in public. What kind of illogical thinking is this?
We are bitter.
Bitter for what? I had jobs. Served as mayor, served as deputy CEO. What else do I want? I'm not bitter. There are bitter people. I mean, people who were sacked. If you were sacked and probably you are talking, somebody can say because you were, I haven't been sacked. Now, because I'm part of the government, say government no you're wrong, ma. I shouldn't correct them. Is that what kind of psychophancy is that? You are part of the government. I am prepared to get sacked. I am prepared to be booted out for saying the kinds of things me can. And at the time I was an appointee of government. So that the party, we can build the party. So people should stop saying, they say, I'm accusing the party. I am not. It's a conversation. If you don't want to be part of the conversation to address some problems that ended up in this massive, horrific, disastrous defeat, allow people to do it. I'm not the only person doing it. Or is it because it's Musa Superior? There are other people doing it. And then they get the praises for doing it. But because Musa Superior is doing it, and therefore it's wrong, it cannot be wrong. All these people who have made this party suffer the way we have suffered, we cannot accept their apology. The only way we can accept that apology is for them to stand down. So that we can say, the right people to come and take over.
But when you say na
spiritual in terms of omuye jujuana.
Because ebano minim say prophet Owusu Bempa eba abonten be kan say the party no aye na wa mo challenge no 40% kro mo obwa it's not any spiritual. It's not any spiritual. It's accumulation of the things that partner and the things that the government didn't do well. Voting now, you go and take money and vote a wrong parliamentary candidate. It will how
Now, if the parliamentary candidate is also encouraging bribery and corruption at our polling station level, no, how is it that I hear a lot of aspirants went and give television, fridges? Now, the steering committee should monitor this and disallow that, and name and shame people. Yeah? Even national executive election, all these things also. And then you say, oh, this man is good, but you know, one first you can. You are
because Obiwa about 700 delegates. But we have 5,000.
Check the person. Check the person. And these are the people, the oral people are chasing. And then you will tell me that, oh, oral need constitutional mandate and there. It is not about, the president-elect has the right to say that I'm appointing people. If you have issue, come and report it to them. Now, if you haven't stolen any money, or if you haven't stolen any land, why should you be afraid of oral?
Almost say, where did they draw their powers in the first
No,
place?
it is not like that. All those arguing like that, they are mischievous. Okay. The man is the president-elect or a Ghanaian. Look, Musa Superior, I can come and announce that I'm putting up a team together. If you know anybody has stolen government money, come on, Musa Superior, a common person like me, I can do that. The constitution does not stop me from doing that. They are not implementing anything. They are not doing anything judicial. In fact, they have announced, as soon as the Attorney General is confirmed, Omojuma, they will send the complaints to you a journalist. Who bet man announce say unim obi say Okita state car, Okita state vehicle on Babe reported. So sad there no omunjaika.
But why are they afraid born out of political witch hunting?
I don't think so. What in witch hunting? Me handy me vehicles. I think a week before the president had even announced say yanko handy a vehicles. What political witch hunting? If you have stolen government money, then of course you are going to be in trouble. If you are keeping government vehicle, you'll be in trouble. If you have done some form of corruption, you'll be in trouble. Because even if the oral is dissolved, the Attorney General will come after you. Do you get the point? So me, a party for almost stopping making these comments. It's as if you are making those comments as though anything wrong. And I am confident that majority of our party people didn't do anything wrong. So they should allow the oral to continue to do that. And the NDC, I am confident that they can't do anything. Mahama is already failed.
Why?
Oh, you don't know? He's failed completely. Number one. Number one. LB.
Yeah.
I can't even pronounce it.
LGBTQ plus.
You two are not even pronouncing it correctly.
Proper human sexual bill. Or say.
Or fate does not accept it.
Sure, that was it.
The president didn't sign the bill. Now say Adianoka. Or say yankoye national conversation about it. Flip-flopping. Very poor, very bad judgment. A president shouldn't do that. So that one, so I'm waiting for some judge. But some judge says that Mahama will know no peace if he doesn't sign the bill. We are waiting for some judge. If some judge is a genuine person.
Heard the president, Don Dramani Mahama, or can say
no, it is not. You shouldn't be saying that because he had already declared it unacceptable. He had told people in the Eastern region, the clergy, that his fate, and then he will not accept it. So he should be speaking strongly against it. But he knows now the consequence. Because we have been slaves, the Americans and the British and the international communities are telling us what to do. So he's afraid. He's afraid that he may not get aid. Okay. And that is exactly what Akufo-Addo did. So we don't need unprincipled people to lead us. On the basis of that, Mahama has already failed.
Another one. A bill, no. The other one. Bill, no, has to be relayed.
No, it has to be relayed, but the conversation about it should be strong. You should reject it outright. Follow the rules, but we want to see the conversation strong. We want to see outright condemnation of the bill. We want to tell you that if you relay it and then it is passed by parliament, you will sign it. Kwame. That is the kind of conversation, not flip-flopping. So his judgment is poor, and I'm disappointed in him. Number two, more policy. And the policy is talking about first year student in Ghanaian tertiary institutions.
Yeah.
You have heard Clement Apak. Oh yeah, a key member of the NDC.
What can say?
And a member of their education, I think he's a member of the education committee in Parliament.
Committee of Parliament, ranking member.
Or our policy no compulsory. Why didn't you indicate it clearly in the manifesto?
Pablo Kurabekan,
Why are you talking like this? Why are you disrespecting the Ghanaian people?
You'll be allowed to go for a loan.
No, that is not what they said. I will bring them, in fact, it's in my car.
Okay.
It is very clear. Sir, academic fee for year 1 level 100 students for all tertiary students in the country. Free. Now today, you are letting your agents go around the country and talk the way they are talking, and we haven't heard the president issue a statement to say, no, what they are saying is not what represents me. So this one shows that this is a government that will collapse midway. I'm telling you, because they are dishonest, they are not right, Mohammed's judgment is poor, and that is not what this country wants. And that is why me rally NPP for, let's do the right thing, let's put our acts together, and I'm telling you Ghanaians will vote for us, because these people cannot be trusted.
General Secretary now.
General Secretary says an position. I mean, why would the right thinking person look for a position this time? Reorganization. 2 years to elections.
Yeah. Now, Mama, so, what can President Mahama asem? Policies be the 24-hour economy nunie ono ba be yema ba the youth connect policy no job be creating me ade identical or the Pablo akwakoto ho for youth and employment no me ade it is okay say only 2 weeks kura so afa na oyiyi ni nkrofo.
No, I am saying say two decisions are 2 things are more here, and I have lost confidence in them, because everything is about honesty and fairness and transparency. The now for creating the youth development ministry from the Ministry of Youth, I think there's a laudable idea, because concentration better on the youth development. That's our sports no the whole ministry. But so it is a very laudable idea. Say Mahama has created the sports ministry. But going forward, 24-hour economy, it is unworkable.
Unworkable.
We are run 24-hour economy is run by the private sector.
Banks will run. What passport officer? Backlog.
24-hour economy is not even run. 20% of that 24-hour economy, 80%, it's not even run in the US. You say, you will go when you go in the night. You go around wherever you go. I don't want to tell people where you are going. You go around wherever you are going and see whether there are people working there. Factories. Before you do the 24-hour economy, there should be employable institutions. There should be institutions to employ people. But you can't go and tell the ministries to run 24 hours. You can't come and tell private people to run 24 hours. And who will pay the workers? Huh? Which company will pay the Uber running shift? Are you for 7-member staff in the morning, 7-member staff at night? Is government going to pay the 7-member staff that is being recruited by the company? So for 24-hour economy is a sham. And I tell you, they will struggle to do it, because something that is realistic, it cannot be achieved in our circumstance right now. Because the whole world say this is a devastated economy, an economy that is struggling, an economy that is completely gone. So we are waiting for them. And I'm telling you, mark it. Even Mahama is going to struggle to form a government.
Why?
Wait.
Ministers in way.
Wait and see. Government is not about ministers. Cabinet. He says he has 14 days to finish his cabinet. Post how many days left for 14 days? Some few days. We are waiting for him to finish his cabinet and things like that. He's got to do the balls and everything and make sure that he says 90 days he should form a complete government. If he does that, I will give him a score on that. If he does that 90 days, he's able to put in every single government personnel in government. I will give him a score on that. But 90 days, I will come and tell you that he hasn't finished. Who they mark it? You see, you can't take Ghanaians for granted and speak the way you spoke and lambast at because our president was not listening to the people. and they exploited our advantage, and undermined the collectivity.
Your president wasn't listening.
He wasn't listening to anybody. If he was listening to people, National Cathedral, another flip-flop cry. You, John Mahama, you and your agents and everybody. Now we will condemn National Cathedral, which was in right order. Now today you are saying, we'll talk and see how we are going to build the National Cathedral. That is totally wrong.
Oh, Sanya,
no, the way they condemned the National Cathedral, and they said that it was a corrupt thing, it was an avenue for corruption. And then most of the spokesperson of the NDC...
Honorable, we say 8 million.
That's why I'm saying it is wrong. And some of us, I spoke to a senior member of the party, and I'm sure Otia or Ben that to tell the president, say this was not right. How can you tell people, say, oh, you are building a national cathedral and this one is a private thing, you are going to solicit money from the Ghanaian people, any other sources to build it, and then some huge sums of money, over $50 million of the Ghanaian taxpayer, has been invested into this project and any infrastructure. In fact, the Christian community collectively have declared it a program that is completely unhelpful for the Christian kingdom. And Mahama, you condemn it, your assigns condemn it, your communicators condemn it, Obia in the NDC condemned it, and then they say it was the biggest hole, and that if they come, they were going to stop it. In fact, a lot of people suggested there, my hospital and clinic, all kinds of things. And today, Mahama says to the whole country that, oh, no, we are going to see how we can work together and build a national cathedral. That is another poor judgment. If you speak straight in government, you have to speak straight. Opposition, you have to speak straight in government so that people can have confidence in you. But we are not seeing that. So, our people, we need you back. Obia taking the time. My conversation, no cause. Nobody should stop anybody from making public criticism about their party. It is the way this party is born. We are a democratic party. Obia, otherwise it will create what we call silent withdrawal.
Matisse said, why you be I will suggest to say youth and volunteer mobilization is crucial in every election. Election, of course, we not BBC is wrong.
It was totally missing. It was totally missing. You remember in 2016, now you were the loyal ladies. And these were motivated. Because a lot of them were abandoned in government. A lot of the loyal lady people, they come to my office at the Forestry Commission. They were abandoned in government. And then the youth all over the country. So when we say 2020 election, now we didn't have the youth effort, the volunteer groups. Now I knew we in fact 2018, 2012, 2016. Now were a volunteer group, and then somebody was coordinated even at the national level to coordinate the volunteer groups around the country. In this particular election, there was no such an appointment because there was absolutely lack of apathy inside volunteer groups across the country. So if you go on NPP WhatsApp platform, you will see the frustration. And we need to be pointful. This is the word of one of my boys. Pointful to the facts. And nobody, I don't really care. I have only one friend in NPP, only one. So if you say you don't like me, you are not my friend. You are not. Just one.
Why?
He's called Kobe. He's one. Anybody I have met in their party, we have met because of their party. So,
he
was my boss. He's not my friend.
Oh, okay.
He was my boss. Very, very, very nice character. But there are issues. I mean, we are a lot of things. So you still want to bring issues. Very, very nice character. Very, very competent, courageous, strong person. These are the people in the future. If they find space in their partner, people like Boachi Ajako, Asamoah Boateng, John Bredu and Co. These are the people.
So be trauma. Say, okay, we no in the interim. When the emphasis on Omegina chairman, as acting chairman, we may general secretary, acting general secretary, we mayor, acting treasurer.
No, say, your institutions are mandated by the constitution to do this kind of work. and that is the National Council I spoke about.
Okay.
So and me. You see, it is very important to be careful about these things because look, disaster here we shouldn't go and repeat a team that will come and further give us more disaster. So you don't mention those names, but privately, if for example the National Council, if Omu resign, privately I will write to the National Council and say, in my view, these are the people I think. Say, there are certain things, strategic communications. No, that is why in all through my conversation publicly, no, I mention anything strategic. Strategic communications run down quietly. But to critique a poor performance is the right of every member in a liberal democracy to do that. And the NPP is a liberal democracy. And everybody should be allowed to speak his mind on issues that are all feeling say it has undermined the party. And that is how this party came together. When we're doing the Buzia Dankwa. 1990-91, 25 years, Musa Superior, I was a member of the Buzia Dankwa. Metamorphosing into NPP. At the age of 24, 25 years, I was a member. That was the time Rawlings came with the iron fist. And it was not easy. So that is why I'm able to tell you the stories of R.I. Alassane, Bawa Wema, and the rest of you, Stephen Kriku and Co.
Yeah.
Professor Albert Dubois, very strong, powerful people. And lately, Jacob Bechebilamte, Alajete, Odoi Sykes. Oh, my goodness sake, Odoi Sykes. The man is not well. I wish him well. Odoi Sykes. Which presidential candidate or president can undermine him? No way. What? This is the kind of leadership we're looking for in there, so that everybody will be in line, so that a party, a better organized party, and the party will become a bigger umbrella for everybody. The last oligarchy, we should never have something like that in the NPP. We should never ever have a small group of people managing the whole government and the whole party. Never in the history of this party should we do that. Never. And I'm making a direct appeal to our party people. Let's come together, together, work it together, and make sure that we get the right people. Now, getting the right people, they will stand for you. I'm telling you, before you become MP, another president, it means that somebody in your local community, some little corner in your local community, no about your mama party.
Selection of parliamentary candidates. In December, no spell out these voter party near the end. A football beno.
I say I am fairly. I say I'm making sure fairly.
Fairly as in what?
I'm making forms not available.
Okay.
All this disqualification. Me the only disqualification meetings are justifiable. Or be a probably or a pedophile.
Okay.
Number or your pedophile is obia or I don't know how to say it. Correct, that's number one. Number two, our criminal record. Apart from that, obia.
But almost disqualify Madame Fubi. Adaya Christmas and prior to primaries, Okoche Emoni and Wama party delegates.
These are the things that in the process of the this yes or no. Probably that should be another way, discouraging. But to do direct disqualification, it will affect the party. Sometimes your strategy should be in a way to blindly look away from the reality. That is how strategy is all about. Now, if you do risk assessment and strategy development, it will tell you the MAKI. So that is why we need big heads, talented, smart individuals to lead this party. Articulate, bold people. Now, if you don't have these kind of people at the top, every single day the party will be manipulated by a group of people. Every single day. Because the president will always be there and you have a small team. And the small team will undermine you. If you have a strong body, the president, nobody in the presidency should be talking directly to the general secretary or national chairman of the party. The president should do that.
Concerning appointments, Ebra Mwaba Bemunu. What's some constitution? Muyen BB.
Your constitution. Oh, that constitution. NPP constitution.
I Mwaba Bemu. Then President Nukwan, so the year, or point to be a party in the say.
In fact, in the constitution, me catch out the role of the presidential candidate. No, only role behind the constitution. But is it that he has the power of the Ghana constitution? So, way and your statute, way and your law. but the Ghana constitution is the
yeah.
law. The NPP constitution is not a law. So, or no, the only way the president will listen to us is for us to tell him, say, if you deliberately make this party weaker, we will withdraw our support for you. Here, this kind of discussion to go on, so that the presidential candidate would know that if you come in and think that, oh, you have got the job and therefore our party is useless, how can a president go to a place all reduced so, and somebody has called in to say that, Mr. President, if you don't do my rules,
the Kwabri roads,
that's Ashanti region.
Ashanti region, yeah.
Mean to Abama NPP, and the president has the audacity to say, oh, say Kokromuchuni Ayudia, you can go and vote NDC. In fact, this is the most unacceptable behavior of a member of a party. Now, on the president under Article 3, in case I am Pamno. Yes, because he's working against the interests of the party. But he's president. So these no, but you don't do that. You are president. Every member of the party, your job is to go and galvanize support for the NPP. So, and that is why you should be patient. Your temperament should be down. Campaigner, whatever people tell you, tolerate it, because we here or vote. Now, if we are NPP campaigner, now call baby, now be cast and now now who here no vote? Then he will take his vote away. And who yes or no, you are going to decrease the numbers we saw. You have a president who is carrying chairs all over the country.
Yes, the director of culture, on a bonsa.
What's the meaning of that? Mahama did that a little bit in the first time.
On Land Cruiser,
the chair.
There be Bako, there Bako, on the bonsa, and our Tenacia, no Abema appellations. You man a whole Land Cruiser.
Look, Miami research across Africa and some parts of the world. I have not and never seen. But you see, time Obabe handed over, no, he was sitting on an ordinary chair. He didn't sit on, yes, he sat on the chair that Obia CTN. Oh yes, I know. Offended a lot of people. And it makes the party becomes a ridicule institution. So when you know a party no pa, but God willing, he's done his job. Wako, I'm here to say or nipa or running for president and vice president. I have heard that. But I have heard that a very reliable source say or his people. But I am just, president is my father. I'm just telling him, sir, he should enjoy his retirement in peace.
By a party member or
no, he has the right. He has the right to support. But I'm telling you, he should behave like Kufuor.
Oh, Papa no onim. Okon wo jane chi. We ya anye yi nti oni pa.
He should behave like, he should be fair. He should not. Even if he's doing that, he should do that extremely quietly. But to start talking to people, say something because I have heard, say Wakasa, and from a reliable source. He has his president, he has people he want to become presidential candidate and vice presidential candidate. I think that talking was not right. It was inappropriate.
If he wants to enjoy his peace.
Yeah, if he wants to enjoy, because you see, the moment he goes into this politics, a lot of people are going to come after him, and that will not be fair. I don't like my former president or one retirement and then there are a lot of issues. I don't like it.
Now, our president not alcohol.
Oh, not really, not really. I may kono. Na me yemi juma as deputy chief executive forestry commission. And I'm very grateful to him, say, at least in the 2 terms, Mami Juma as mayor of Chamale. And I deserve it. It was a deserving appointment. Not like the Jankurma one. As NTBD 2 Juma Ben Omuye. Akufo-Addo, I worked for him, I campaigned for him, my family voted for him. I have been campaigning for the NPP since 1992.
Baby, at your Sabia. Wa penipo trust no ono so a lawyer ni Just say a bad saying in Catatronia, the idea.
He's not the only lawyer in the NPP. There are lawyers are Bojumama party. No, they should be doing those jobs. Haven't you seen Mahama Kalustus Mahama?
Yeah.
He has appointed a typical political animal to be his executive secretary.
Very good.
He is no, in fact, or sign letter or executive secretary. That is a strategy to tell people that me, I'm just a secretary. But as in they be executive secretary. Kalustus or a political animal, papa. So all the people around him, spokesperson, probably I tip him to become communications minister, spokesperson, acting spokesperson, Bauer, Callistus, chief of staff. Do you get me?
Sure.
These are all politicians who know the NPP and the NDC and the NDC. Party for no. So I say, I'm working hard so that we can get our party people motivated. And the motivating is that this party is your party. Nobody owns their party more than the grassroots members of their party.
Okay.
Now, and this conversation until such a time that we think, say, the party has come back to point. Mm-hmm. And then regroup it proper. And then, of course, we start taking on the NDC. Okay. Look at the communications department across the country. It was totally down because they were looking for help. How can you have a communications team? They can't even buy a car in government. And I'm suggesting that they should be supported by the party and government to buy a car.
ENJ home deco asye aha yeton inkonya papa ewa ha say inkonya leda no wudi si wude mu forever and ever just one kasa wo pese wo sesa inkonya no na leda no de wa wo bana wa wo besom wa hu atim se mi fili leda nan kasa enya de a epa enya de etete enya de a esei ani na de ye di enua aye ne so no endwa ni mu oduye ye papa ehompa ehon sei eguwo demu a eguwo ho a chese obi eba besrawa fe eti wani mu ye pa ni nyina so ebo eda from ye pa nkonya ne de emu efe ye se de wuhu e wo screen ni so no ye wo single ones wa ha se ya se bedroom na pese ya audit na ni ahomache wo tran se na wa dwendwen wo life ho a eno so ebusu bebre e wa ha se 2 in 1 e wa ha family size de enso e wo aha se na ENJ home deco enye nkonya kwa ena yeton ye wo center tables nyina so ebi wa ha ye wo side tables enso wa ha ene wo kɔ wo demu a esisi nkyɛn wo di wo phone bi beto so charge a no so kama center table no so no flowers ni sisu a ana se wo teddy bear ne da so a fa akono ye pa yeton eye emema shirt designer shirt nkwan so ena yeton wa ha sei yeton shirt papa wo betimi edi etukwan shirt a wo betimi edi akɔ wedding program bia shirt a wo betimi edi akɔ eyiase shirt a ehyewo a obi hu ose papa yi ana abrante de nani atiye pa because nipa de wipia bonti a wo dressing ne ebi hu nipa usu ne wo ban a wo ye eti dressing de ehu hia ye pa eti no fo ani kire ENJ home deco ha say na ba beje shirt papa efa ehyewo a wankasa wo be feel gbenze within you no na ENJ enye shirt nkwan so ne san so eton wa ha say ye wo wall posters enso e wa ha ebo bedroom ebo ho a fe obi besra wa kono yi chese eti wanim pa enya go ena midi said de hu screen so say eyefe ani ne bronso ewo form yes anso akwa eye wall clock so e di aba ebo wo ne ho a ene enu ane say time ne so kura na person the time bia wo hwe wo clock no because efe design no eye one in town wa wunya bi wo ba bia age say ENJ home deco ha say yakwa eye bathroom eye me was so di aba eno so no efe ye size bia bi wa ha type bia bi wa ha wo ba ENJ home deco ha wonsa ebekam tomato paste ai eduane no aso hu hia wo tonya mari na esiesie wo ho ne wo da mu wi a akase wo bedidi eno so ne adwen ho yie pa enti akwa tomato paste eye original one a ne bro eda from enso edi aba ubetini aba betobi yesan so ewe ye cooking oil ye friend sunflower no yakofa beans so edi aba wonim say sunflower cooking oil there ye quality ye original wo di ye aduane na say we ye mistake bi mpo na de nchibi gu mu kwa na bro so a oil no ebe solve mistake ni nyina de ama wanka say bia na do ye no na egusu ejane na so ye pa eti no for wani chrem ewe ye enje home deco aha no ye wholesale and then retail wo pese utu cotton wa ye available wo pese oton maako so ye available wanka sa wa chichi ni benchegen so na wutimi mba wo frɛ number na etwagu screen na mama comfort e de nyema no be brew e wanka sa wo fia wo da ho no wanwa no bete pepe enje e na yaba no ya na yaba no enje home decor na ye di abrochiri abadana
so wo say ye say sem fefefe ye efi Royal Gallery e wo opekuma and into jema me number no ni ndin kita wo die 0537 314546 0537 314546 na man na me de atuja amount no from ma me no ni ndin kita wo die so person ye say wo ba no mfanya na yo flo and I say ye say wo ba no mfanya bibi e fa na nanom ne ehema asem ho and dem e kan for Royal Gallery e de amount say from no no ndin kita wo die on be say wo ba no so de ye bibi e wo school and I say mpo wo to e de amuna wo nua e wo amunane and I say wankasa wo to na wa ton baby biala wo biala delivery baby bia wo won sebeka se wo Ghana ha se wo amonane baby bia wo bia wo fra maami a woni no bedin kita wo de na wo so be siesie na wo ba no na wo aye fe ye papa.
The foundation of every kid's education is important to every parent. That is why Leap International School is here to give your kids a solid foundation. The school that cares about its environment and seeks to transform it is one that cares about the education and well-being of its kids. The school has a playing ground, a bus to convey the kids in and out of school, as well as a well-furnished facilities and resources to groom the kids to future leaders. Not forgetting the well-learned teachers that are patient with the kids to ensure understanding is easy. They are located at Amanfrom off the Popasi Amasaman Road. For more information, call 0246 928 031 or 0246 098 067. Be part of a school that leads, learns, evolves, acts, and develops through sound education. Leap International School, the next leaders.
School na batan biara de ne baro ko hono ni yo. Oye Rainbow Montessori International School. Rainbow Montessori International School. What you from Krachi? You see JHS. The Rainbow Montessori International School from ana. What been wrong? What's the what the Montessori curriculum in a syllabus? No what the children are the teachers who hona. When you know why degree holders what the abutana badoyan what the trauma from anadio. Now Rainbow Montessori International School. Wakitaba funyoman what the trauma from anate. It's your mama from an not doing boy wrong. Wakita ultra modern science laboratory, computer laboratory, library and research center, art and sculpture laboratory, hygienic canteen, now for a clinic. Na moye nika 1 point there. Rainbow Montessori International School. Oye boarding house. Inyo into onfahu baby awo biara. Wawo from an batuma school. Onfahu there watakwa. Takrade, Elibo, Cape Coast, Accra, Kumasi. One boarding house facilities now. Oye modern standard. Now wash for papa. It's your house master and house mistress. What you want to a boarding house no? It's your new Biara. Bambo another security no so sure. It if wo from Anebra. Na ebe hu Rainbow Montessori International School. E watakwa in Soyem opposite police station. It is said over by Rainbow Montessori International School. To what you nada? Osan wo bat shana de papa. E manazams na. Wo charo 111. It is quite you admission forms. E wa Hantaman Rural Bank. Watakwa in Soyem branch. Freyene 0277 100 823. Rainbow Montessori International School. In from a one that you know one fapim. Oshasu ha. It's a Hana Barton Biara. Ordinary from a river.